Thanks to our viewers who are tuning into another newly listed on the CSE clip. Today we are speaking with Mark Scott. Mark is the CEO of Galloper Gold Corp. The symbol is great. It's BOOM, Boo. Mark, thank you so much for your time. I hope you're well.
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
Why don't we start by you giving us an introduction to Galloper Gold? What is the focus here?
Yeah, of course. Galloper Gold is, as you mentioned, newly listed under the symbol BOOM on the CSE. We have two assets, both in the Central Newfoundland Gold Belt. The main one of which is known as Galloper Island, which is in the western part of Newfoundland, just east of Corner Brook, south of Deer Lake, in the Grand Lake region. So it's an interesting property. We've basically consolidated all of the claims on Galloper Island in the last 2 years that we've been out there doing early stage exploration work as a private company. And now that we're public and we've done that background work, we have a number of drill ready targets, and we're looking forward to launching our first diamond drill campaign this year in 2024. And we look forward to some exciting results from the 6-kilometer mineralized trend we've identified through geophysical surveys and soil sampling.
You know, I was on your website taking a look at some of the information that you have on there. One, Galloper Island looks to be a beautiful space, but the whole region of southwest Newfoundland is quite significant when it comes to mining, and the jurisdiction actually helps promote the mining industry. Can you maybe give us a little background on what the significance is of having projects in this area?
Absolutely. The province of Newfoundland and Labrador is a fantastic place to work. In the Fraser surveys over the last couple of years, I believe it's ranked the 4th best jurisdiction in which to explore and mine in the world. And the province certainly does through its Junior Exploration Assistance Program and the degree to which its Geological Survey Department and Permitting Department is staffed up. It does a great job of probably best in class among the Canadian jurisdiction, among the 13 Canadian jurisdictions in terms of supporting the industry. Geologically, the Central Newfoundland Gold Belt is pretty widely underappreciated and underexplored. It's not well known, in spite of the small burgeoning gold rush that started out there in 2020 with the likes of Marathon Gold, which has since been purchased by Calibre, and their Valentine project, which is a 5 million ounce and counting deposit in Central Newfoundland. And then, of course, Newfound Gold, who continue to put out world-class drill intersections, high-grade gold intersections, it seems, every week, and have had their market cap up over $1 billion for some time now. So the structures that run across Newfoundland from the southwest to the northeast are the same as those that start down along the Appalachians in the Carolinas and Tennessee, where there are significant precious metal and zinc deposits. They run through the Bathurst VMS camp in New Brunswick, dip underwater as they go across the strait, pop up in Newfoundland, where there are a number of VMS camps and gold discoveries that are developing as we speak, and a long history of base and precious metal mining on the island. And then they go back underwater across the Atlantic and pop back up in the economic deposits of Ireland. So there's more than one connection, more than just a cultural connection between Newfoundland and Ireland. It's also a geological one, and it's a fantastic place to explore. There's lots of fertile ground with a number of significant regional structures that run parallel to one another from the southwest to the northeast of the island. And at various points round about 400 million years ago, we're flushed with gold-bearing fluids that are what you see being discovered and developed today. So, although not well known, it is a fantastic story and a great place to be working, a great jurisdiction to work.
Well, I'm glad that I brought that up, because it is a very important part. Having a world-class, I think it's fair to call it a world-class mining jurisdiction, and it's got the infrastructure, Obviously, you've got a strong team as well. I want to talk a little bit about your background, Mark. Can you maybe give us a little history on how you got started in this space and what drives you?
Sure. I grew up in a mining household in that Bathurst VMS camp. My father spent most of his career at the Brunswick and Heath Steel mines back in the day, though he's long retired now. And I started working underground at Heath Steel mines as a summer student when I was 18 years old back in the mid 90s, and caught the mining bug and have been doing it ever since. For the 28 years since. So I've had the good fortune to work at Heath Steel mines, the Brunswick, of course, world famous Brunswick mine, which was the largest underground VMS mine in its heyday. And then on to Sudbury, Ontario, where I worked for Inco in that world-class, very well-known nickel, copper, cobalt, and PGM camp, of course. And then on to Thompson, Manitoba, where I had the great fortune to spend 15 or 16 years working, which culminated in my last two roles with Inco, now Vale, up in the Manitoba operations as the GM of mining and milling for that operation, and then VP of Vale Canada and head of that Manitoba operation, where we had just shy of 1,900 employees and $1 billion Canadian in revenue per year, where I was working from 2003 to 2018, and left there in 2018 and got into the junior exploration and mining space in 2019.
Got it. So great location and jurisdiction. You've got a strong background. Let's talk a little bit about your team members that you brought on board to make sure that, you surround yourself with the right group of people.
Yeah, we our CFO Brian is very experienced in the public markets and with companies of this size that are early in their life cycle. In the exploration world, likewise with Rab Malate, who's been involved with a number of successful early stage junior companies over the years and venture companies over the years. Our lawyer Bill is a fellow Calgarian here, where I live now, and so we get to be in close proximity to one another and work together on all of our contracts and those sorts of things that we need to take care of. And Danielle Fernandez is helping us on the communications side of things. She's a great talent in front of the camera and in terms of providing some marketing strategy. And then Peter Lauder, most recently, has joined us as a director and is acting as our qualified person. He's a very experienced, decades of experience geologist who really has been digging into the Galloper Island geology and the historic 200,000 ounce deposit that is already known to exist on that island within a mining lease that's controlled by the province for the time being, and has been working. He's been working with his team to develop a more advanced geological model of the island's potential than you might expect for this stage of work after a couple of years of a couple of soil sampling campaigns and some airborne geophysical surveys. So we feel like we've got a good jump on things in terms of exploration, and we have the right team in place in terms of people and experience and a mix of skill sets to hit the ground running as a public company here in 2024.
So what I know you've just listed, so there's a long list of to-dos, but are there any milestones you're able to talk about that our viewers can look for from you and your team in the coming months? I know you mentioned the sampling program, but is there anything else that is on the horizon?
Of course, yeah. I mean, getting listed, of course, on the 1st of March was a major milestone for us. That process took a little longer than we expected it to, and that may have turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The junior gold space in 2023 was not necessarily one you would have been wanting to launch a new vehicle into, as it turns out. And, with gold prices now bumping up against all-time highs in the last couple of weeks, the hope and the expectation is that the timing in 2024 will turn out to be more advantageous than it would have been if we had actually listed in 2023. At the same time, we've streamlined our assets and our portfolio of projects. We can concentrate more fully on on Galloper Island and Mint Pond. And in terms of milestones looking forward, you have the permitting process that we will undertake immediately here for drilling at Galloper Island, and then the establishment of a camp, the commencement of that program, and updates as we go through it. It should be a fairly steady flow. Those programs never quite run, and the assays never quite turn around as fast as anybody would like, but as much as it can be, it'll be a pretty steady flow of news through the balance of this year, and we will certainly be undertaking our first diamond drilling program there with a little bit of mapping and a whole lot of data already in hand from the work we've done over the last couple of years.
Mark, you come across very passionate, not only for the project, but for the industry as a whole. I've been to your site. We always encourage our viewers to go to your website, do their due diligence, of course, read up on the region, the project, and your team, and of course, sign up for your newsletter, press releases, so they can keep up with progress. Where can we direct our viewers to?
GalloperGold.com is exactly what you're looking for there. Sign up for news alerts. You can see some of the neat imagery and maps and information all about Galloper Island and Mint Pond and some of the personalities that make up the company, and certainly want to keep investors and potential investors informed. So do go there and check out the existing reel of news, and make sure you stay up to date on any news alerts as they come about.
Mark, I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds to reach out and talk to our viewers about why they should be paying attention to you and your team. I know you've covered it in our talk, but you have the last 30 seconds.
Well, the part we haven't covered is the capital structure of the company, which is important and is pretty impressive. It's a tight 32 million shares issued and outstanding in a vehicle that is brand new to its public listing and has a number of drill-ready targets on a 6-kilometer mineralized trend that is known to already have a 200,000-ounce gold deposit on it that's within a provincially held mining lease. Where the previous operators who last drilled there in 2012, I believe, were really only just beginning to scratch the surface of what Galloper Island has to offer in terms of high-grade gold in quartz, which is certainly been making headlines in Newfoundland for the last few years, as well as mineralization of other types, VMS and others that we know now are present on Galloper Island. So the timing is good with high gold prices. The timing is good with a tight share structure. The team that's in place has the right experience to make it happen, and we can't wait to hit the ground when it dries out enough to allow us to do that this spring and summer and get the diamond drill turning.
Well, hey, I look forward to hosting you on again at the end of summer, where we can talk a little bit more about the progress and hopefully some results. To everybody watching, you've been hearing from Mr. Mark Scott. He is the CEO of Galloper Gold Corp. The symbol again is BOOM, boom, and it's listed on the CSE. I'm Anil Mall, host of the newly listed clips, and thank you for tuning in. Mark, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.